Hello. Welcome to this week's Behind the Poem, where we are still apparently wearing lipstick. This is episode 100. I began this series on February 12th, 2021, almost exactly 3 years ago. My first Behind the Poem was a poem called Sex Appeal, about the first time I had COVID. If you want to find it, it's in the archives along with all other 98 episodes, because that would be 1 plus 98 would make 99, and this is 100. I want to give a shout out of thanks to my manager, Danielle. This was her idea for me to have a weekly poetry video series, and the title Behind the Poem is something that came to me in 2016, obviously a riff on Behind the Music, and I'd waited years and years to find use for some kind of series Behind the Poem. I know I am not the first poet out there to come up with that framing and phrasing behind the poem, but when I came up with it in 2016, it felt original to me, and so I'm honored to be in conversation with all the other people thinking about what is behind the poem. It feels impossible to choose one of my own poems to honor this 100th episode, and it feels equally impossible to think about celebration in the wake of ongoing catastrophes all over the world, which are always happening, but feel particularly acute and extreme right now. And so I am instead going to turn to one of my favorite poems of all time and recite that poem. And then after sharing that poem, invite you, to whatever extent you feel comfortable, to share in the comments as well. And I will say this, earlier today when I was getting acupuncture, lying on the table with needles all over my body, I was thinking about my body and the power of the body. And what is it that poetry means to me? And I wrote this out after acupuncture. I created it in my head while lying there with needles and then remembered it. For me, poetry has the power to be that which stores the archive of the body's experiences, that which digests the thoughts and memories on which the mind chews, that which tends the layers of the heart, that which sings the anthems of the soul. And with that, here's a poem that continually does that for me, to honor this episode. And thank you all so much for tuning in week after week. I am so deeply moved. This is called Won't You Celebrate With Me by Lucille Clifton. Won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of life? I had no model. Born in Babylon, both non-white and woman. What did I see to be except myself? I made it up. Here on this bridge between starshine and clay, my one hand holding tight my other hand. Come celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed. It wouldn't be a Behind the Poem episode if I didn't get emotional and cry during the poem, so this makes sense. Here's my invitation to you. What do you want us to celebrate with you? Right now, today, in this moment, even in the wake of immeasurable pain, what can we celebrate with you? You can leave it in the comments or share it in your stories, whatever it is. Thank you for joining me week after week to go behind the poem and being present and allowing me a space to get to be present both in my body and, more importantly, across these space waves with you. Thank you all. See you for episode 101 next. Take care.